Welcome to Master the Fun, and today we are in Minecraft. And we're going to do a survival from scratch setting here in the Savannah Biome. We're starting off breaking some acacia trees. Well, actually, this is an oak. But why are we attacking the oak first? Because we're trying to get food as fast as possible. Remember, we have nothing. Okay, no tools, no nothing. Usually on public servers, they'll start you with basic tools with pickaxe and stuff. But we're going for a hard mode. This is actually hard mode, not hardcore, but hard mode, survival. And this is one of the toughest, I would say, the toughest biomes. Not including, for example, let's say frozen or desert, which is like practically impossible to survive, I would say. I mean, if there's no trees, you're not getting any crafting table, right? So to get the crafting table, you want to break any tree as fast as possible with your fist. And we're collecting seeds here. We'll talk about that later. It kind of depends on the biome, since we don't know what kind of animals we're able to get. We kind of see some cows there in the distance. So we're trying to get some seeds because one of our objectives is, well, number one is going to be food and shelter, right? Because you don't want to be outside at night because the creepers and the skeletons will just tear you apart. The creepers will blow up, one shot, you're dead. And the skeletons, probably 2 shots and you're dead. So we're not getting any armor anytime soon. Again, unless we can kill those cows. But to do that, you need a sword. So, or an axe. An axe might work too. So, like I said, Savannah is one of the toughest biomes. Probably plains. There might not be any trees in plains. If that happens, what you want to do is you want to run in, just pick a direction and run as fast as you can in one direction, because you want to get a tree. Even if you hit an ocean, that would probably be easier, and you just swim in the ocean in one direction until you see a tree. The tree is the most important part. You can get your crafting table with 1 log. You'll get your crafting table, and then you split the rest of the wood to get some sticks, so you can get a couple of torches and or a tool, which in my opinion would be the pickaxe. That would be a number 1 tool, so you can break the stone and break the coal, so you can get some coal, and then the stone for some cobble, which you'll need for the oven, to make the oven, right? So yeah, that's what we're doing now, as you can see. So we're making some shelter because as the sun starts, usually in the morning, for at least in here in this example, the sun starts in the morning for survival hard mode. So we're getting inside here, so we can close this up with some dirt or cobble. Usually the dirt's easiest because you can just break that with your fist. You want to preserve your pickaxe depending on how much wood you can get. The Savannah, there's not that much wood. I mean, there is, because like as we saw outside, there's some acacia trees there. So it should be enough. 2 or 3 trees and you should be okay. And then you should be able to survive that first night. And our objective is, of course, to get iron. Once we get iron, that's it. We're pretty much set. Because once you get iron, then you get diamond. You can find diamonds, and then it's like game over. So for me, the objective here is to survive and get iron. Now, iron, the best level for iron is level 14. So we didn't go down to that level because, well, you'll see here as we progress. So you don't want to fall. So we want to get rid of this once we get that coal down there. We're going to close this hole up because falling will drain our food. And as you can see there, at this moment, all we have is an apple. Like I said, I'll get those cows soon enough. And for those cows, we'll use the axe, because the axe might be the second best weapon in the game after the sword. At least early game. Right, so here we have some leathers, but more importantly, we got the meat. And for conservation reasons, for the coal or charcoal, when we cook up the logs, they burn 8 items per or coal. So, or charcoal. So you'll see that in a bit here when we get the oven going. So yeah, we'll put the torches down so we can find the place again. We don't want to wander off too far. Again, because of the food, when you sprint and jump around to, increase your speed, as I like to sprint jump a lot because you get a little bit faster. It eats up your health bar, your food bar, your hunger bar. There on the right side there, the little meats. So we're going to get as much wood as possible to break the trees completely. When you break the trees completely, the leaves will auto-degenerate and they'll fall, you'll get like sticks and maybe apples or saplings. And we need that too because then we'll plant more trees. Okay, so here's a trick. If you can't reach something, you can just jump, and if you hold down the attack bar, the attack button, it'll keep breaking, and that's a kind of a waste of time. I could have just put down like a dirt block and then like got it faster, but it's just a trick for like future in case you might not have the blocks or you want to use it, whatever. So anyway, so yeah, we're going a little bit nuts here with the seeds. So I'm fast forwarding certain parts. Yeah, because the seeds, if we get into an emergency situation for food, like maybe there's no animals or we can't find any animals, then we'll just we'll have to go to the river there. In the distance, I saw a river, and we could just move there and start planting wheat. Well, we would craft a hoe and then plant the seeds to get some wheat. So here, coal is like gold for now. Excuse me. And again, we're going to close this up because, again, falling will damage us, and each little bit of damage, even if it's like less than a half a heart, which wouldn't register, will cost our health bar, and we only have, as you can see, one apple. So what I like to do is we're going to go to the river here and get some sand, as there usually is some by the river. Why? Because we want some glass. So we'll cook up some sand, get some glass so we can see if it's day or night. Because when we close ourselves in, when the sun starts going down, we want to see when night is over, and not have to break the dirt every every few minutes to check when the sun starts coming up. So yeah, we'll go back.
Wir haben unseren Auftrag erfüllt.
Still hitting some seeds there. So yeah, I was trying to spawn in a snow or a desert biome to see, if it was how feasible it is to survive, like if we run out to another biome, sprint another biome. And for the purposes of this example, for the survival example here, I can see another biome in the distance, which would be better than this one. Like it has a lot more trees. But we're just gonna assume, like, that this is like a huge biome, and see, like there in the distance by the river, there's another biome, which we probably could have run to. It wouldn't have taken us that long. And then we could have started from there, which would have been better. But again, assuming like this is a huge biome and you can't see another one, we'll just take this as an example. Oh, so we got some chickens here, which is great. So this will help us with the food situation. The eggs, yeah, not so much. Yeah, you could cook up some eggs, but eggs need some more materials, and I don't see any mushrooms around here.
Скорее обратно в бункер.
So for now, we'll just take that. We're not going to do any kind of monster, like, not monster spawner, but like kind of a bunker for killing monsters, because like I said, the creeper will just take the whole thing out. And until we can get obsidian, which would mean we would need a diamond axe, so forget that. We're not going to deal with the monsters because, like I said, we want to survive the first night. And we want to get iron as quick as possible. Because once we get iron, at least 3 iron to get that first iron pickaxe, we're done. So we'll see how long it takes. Like I said, iron, according to my research, is level 14 would be the ideal level for iron, but we're not going to do that right now because we'll see what happens if we find iron beforehand. So here we'll cook up the logs to get charcoal, and these are pretty much the same as coal. Each one charcoal will burn 8 items per coal. So like, you know, food or other logs or whatever they are. So here we'll get some more. We'll create some planks so we can get our chest. We can start saving this stuff, storing this stuff, and then we'll expand this little bunker we have here right now. And make some room. So if you're enjoying this and enjoying these survival type videos, which I try to give other tips as well, I do have separate videos that talk about the ideal levels in which you can mine diamonds and amethyst nodes and even lapis lazuli, which really people have found helpful. So yeah, you can check those out too. So we're done with our charcoal here, and we'll set that in the furnace for future cookings. And again, we'll separate this. We want it in groups of 8, so this way we can efficiently burn as much. Because if you just burn 2 or 3, you're wasting a whole coal, which could burn 8 items. So if you have like an odd amount of items, like let's say 3 chicken and I don't know, 5 beef, I would cook 3 and 4, because by the time you switch it, you're going to lose the 8th one because of how it works. You know, you can't switch it that fast to get the to get all 8. Believe me, I tried. It's like you need to be, you know, it's just like, I don't know. I've never been able to do it. So the most you can do is 7 if you're switching items. So you could do 3 and 4 of any 2 items to burn when you want to burn stuff, so you can preserve the coal as best possible. Anyway, here, so we're going to switch the dirt for some glass so we can see outside what's going on. You know, make sure there's no creepers or skeletons out there. Oh, look at that. We got some coal. Excellent. So we'll get more of that. Get some of that there. Yeah, so we can see outside to make sure there's no mobs or monsters close to our area. That's why we want to expand the torches too. When we get more torches, I'll have to make more torches so we can put more at a distance to keep the mobs from spawning. There's a certain light level where the monsters won't spawn. So they won't spawn next to a torch, you know, but as it gradually gets darker, they will. So we want to kind of surround the area, the entrance, by torches, or at least a couple more, you know, to expand our light zone so they don't get close. Okay, so we got more glass, and we'll have to build a door eventually. Okay. Let's see, let's get to that. We'll use some acacia for that. Get some logs, planks, sorry. And we'll build our doors. We'll get 3 per 6 planks, so we'll use that also later on for our mine. When we go mining here, we'll build let's say, a staircase down. We'll start digging down, and you don't want to just dig straight down. That's like a rule in Minecraft, because if you dig into a cavern, the roof of a cavern, you'll fall to your death or into lava. So you always want to dig at an angle. So Yeah, fracking in Minecraft, right? Okay, so we'll block that up. Why do I do this sometimes? I mean, I don't know if I'm going to keep this here, but the zombies, sometimes they will like bang and break the door down. It's and I've even seen copper where they'll try to break a copper door down, and they've almost done it. So that's pretty freaky. How I don't know. I don't know why that is. Like, I know they do it to villagers or something. You know, like maybe if they see you run into a house, if they'll attack. I'm not sure about that. So now I'll craft some more stone supplies because it's stronger than wood. So we got our stone sword. That's better. And I kind of want an axe too, because like I said, the axe is a good reserve, because the axe can kill mobs too. It's slower, but it has a good attack number. So I don't know if I want that pickaxe. Maybe I'll just make more pickaxes. Because even if it's stone pickaxe, they'll get eaten up pretty quick. When you start going mining, you won't even realize it, and they will get, let's say, destroyed if they don't have mending on it. Mending is great. That's like future stuff when you get really advanced and you make an enchanting table and you look for like the mending enchantment. Then basically your tools last forever because you can just heal them. Heal the tools. The sword will like never die if you have mending on a sword. On a diamond sword, it's pretty much invincible because the XP you get heals the tools. So when you kill a monster with a sword, it practically heals itself. Not so much for pickaxes or the other tools. So I'll get the call out of here. So like I said, I'm not going to make too much aesthetics for this bunker because I want to go closer to the river, so this is temporary. But we will expand to get more cobble because it's too cramped right now. So I'm going to expand it a bit. And we need more cobble so we can increase the speed of the burning when I get another oven going. So there, great. The sun's coming up. I don't want to go out right away because what happens is the zombies might still be alive and they'll burn, the skeletons will burn, but the creepers will not. So you got to keep your eyes open because the creepers, they'll just be like by a tree or something, you won't see them, and then it'll take you out. So you really got to be careful in the mornings. The spiders should not attack you. You know, it's a little bit risky. If you attack a spider in a day, you better be pretty good. You got to be pretty good at, attacking. Then you can get a string, maybe make a fishing rod, and then you can fish, and then that's practically game over because that's like infinite food then if you can fish, But by the river there should be fish. We should be able to kill it. I'm not going to do that right now. Like I said, we're going to assume that this is like a huge savanna zone. So we're going to stay here and I'll get these chickens, get some more food. Because, see, like at the distance right there, there's a abundant forest there. So the trick is usually food. I find that that's one of the hardest things because how do you get enough food to maintain, staying alive? Because if you're going to start attacking monsters for different supplies, like especially like the spiders or the skeletons for the bones or the bone meal, which help grow stuff, then you're going to take damage, and that's going to cost a lot of food. And running around, jumping around, is going to cost food too. Your food bar, hunger bar, see? So we got to eat that. So I'll get more chickens, and we're actually in a pretty good situation now with the food. And we got some pork here too. Wow, that's great. So we killed the porkies and sorry, but we need the food, so be careful. There's a hole there. By the way, if you guys want me to do another like survival guide for a different terrain, I was trying to find desert or ice. And I couldn't find any. It would not spawn me in that area. It always spawned me in, let's just say, easier areas, you know, like forests or stuff like that. The hardest one was a spruce snow terrain, like mountainous, but there was like tons of trees there too. So I found this to be like one of the, let's say, more difficult ones because there's just not a lot of trees here, and there's not a lot of, you know what I mean? There's no water. Um, Again, assuming that you don't see anything in every direction, because the biomes can be pretty big. So I was breaking seeds again because you want to have seeds, not only for the seeds to grow wheat, but I want to get a composter going, which we can make with just wood. So we get a composter, and when you throw the seeds in the composter, eventually they give you bone meal, which also bones give you bone meal. So with the bone meal, you can accelerate the growth of, well, pretty much everything. Most things like trees and wheat, stuff like that. So it's helpful for speed, so you don't like die of hunger. Like I said, this is hard mode. I might try hardcore mode next, and we'll see how we fare in that, let's say, more difficult level of Minecraft here. Be careful, gotta close these up because these holes are nasty. They can be good if you need coal, because we're gonna need metal, right? So iron. I'm surprised they don't have like copper as far as armor or tools. That would be really cool. You would think. I mean, copper is a hard metal. But anyway, maybe they'll do that in the future. Okay, so we added a couple more torches here to expand the light radius, so we don't get too many mobs spawning. And we placed a couple more saplings so we don't have to go so far for the trees, because the trees are starting to, let's say, run out at the close range. So sometimes we get food from the leaves, but not really. I think if it's not oak, you won't get any apples. I've noticed that you don't really get apples unless it's from oak trees. So, like I said, the leaves will degenerate. I like to make it a little bit faster because we're doing okay on time with the sun. So, we're breaking some leaves to get some more sticks, so I don't have to use wood. And if we had enough bone meal, we could actually try to make these trees grow fast. You have to hit them like 3 or 4 times. Sometimes you can hit them in one, but it's like 3 or 4 times, and they'll grow. I see some burning in the distance. I want to check that out. Why is it burning in the distance? Oh, we got some sheep here. So what's good about the sheep is, well, wool. We don't have any iron. We don't have any shears, so I can't just cut the wool off of them, or shear the wool off of them. I'll need to I'll just need to kill them, and then I'll get wool, but not as much. Usually you get 2 or 3 pieces of wool when you shear them, but when you kill them, I think you get only 1, maybe 2. So at least with the 3 sheep, we'll have wool to make a bed. I don't know if they need to be the same color. I don't remember now. But we'll make a bed, and what's really good about that is when we get a bed, that'll set the respawn point inside our bunker. So if we get killed, we would respawn in the bunker, because if you don't, you respawn wherever the world respawned you, in the middle of nowhere, and if it's at night, you're dead because the mobs will get you again. So yeah, it looks like there's lava there. I can kind of see it in the distance there. There's lava, and that's why the trees are burning. Interesting. Okay, I'm not going down there because There's the sugar. I'm not going to deal with that right now. Okay, so we'll go back to the house. We'll collect some stuff that was dropped from the degenerating leaves. And we'll just plant these saplings. And we'll go back inside. So now we'll, I want to cook up some more food. Or I want to move this first. Yeah, we'll move these over to the left because I wanna expand it inward, and I don't want the appliances or the furnace to be in the middle of the floor, so I want to put it toward the sides. Okay, so we'll store our food, and we actually have enough chicken. Start cooking up chicken. Remember, we want to do it in amounts of 8, 16, etc. See, because then for every 8, it'll use exactly 1 piece of coal. Because we're not exactly in a position to just waste the coal. Like 9 is like the worst because you're wasting a whole coal just for 1 piece of chicken. So we'll leave the chest there for now, because if we move it, all the stuff we have to start. It's a pain. And chests are a pain to move because all the stuff bursts out if you don't put it in your inventory first. And it's just annoying. So I'll leave the chest there for now. We'll put some coal in our new furnace, and we'll cook up some more logs to get more charcoal. Okay, put everything else back, make some more room in our stuff here. So we're doing pretty good. Look at, we got the food there. You can see 17, 5, 22, 23, 30. We have over 30 food. That's pretty good, and at least that'll be good for, a few days, a few nights and days. And that would be enough for finding iron, I would think. So we're doing pretty good on food. There was quite a bit of animals out there for us to stock up on food. So yeah, we got our crafting table. We could make leather armor. It's so weak, It's not really... See, it would take all our leather, and then we can make the tunic. But my objective is not fighting the monsters. So you don't really need it. It's not going to save you. See, sadly, it's only 3 armor. It's probably not going to save you from the creeper. I mean, unless you ran away and it exploded just you're far enough. It could, but it's kind of like, instead of dying 100%, you'll die maybe 99%. You just might survive. I don't really think it's worth it to use the leathers for that. If I had 30 or 40 leathers, yeah, I would. But, and no iron, until I can get iron armor. So, the composter recipe is not showing up, probably because I don't have the material for it yet. I know it takes wood, but I need to craft the right wood, right form of wood to make the composter, which is slabs. So it's going to cost me 7 slabs to get the composter. So I'll need to take the planks and craft me some slabs. Okay, so there we go. Here's some slabs. Now we got the slabs. And of course 6, I need 1 more, so that means I'm going to have to waste 3 more woods to get 6 more slabs. See, there it is. There's the composter. Takes 7, of course, and I have only 6. So annoying, but yeah. Alright, so I think a 6. There we go. Got my composter. Great. I'll just stick it in the corner. And now I can stick in the wheat seeds. And with 56, that's like plenty. As far as like if I needed to grow bread, which it doesn't look like I'll need because I seem to be doing pretty well as far as meats go. So we'll just like compost half of them. There we go. And we got our bone meal, yeah. So it's only one for now, but it could be useful in the future. It's just way too many seeds to, and also takes up storage. So, okay, so we have that. Sand. And we'll cook up some more chicken. Okay, there's the chicken there. And we'll just do another 8 because there's no point in having raw chicken. When you get more advanced, you want to have raw. You want to keep raw, like a stock of raw meats too. Why? Because sometimes you'll get the traveling trader or the wandering trader, and he requires, sometimes he'll require like weird things, including raw meats and stuff. And then he'll give you like tools you might need, like even diamond gear or like emeralds and stuff. So not that emeralds are really useful to survive. That's more aesthetics. But yeah, like he might have like diamond gear or stuff like that, like diamond swords or cool stuff or armor. So you want to, and even for emeralds, because then he might take emeralds too. So the thing is, sometimes he'll require like raw meats and stuff, So in the future, let's say in more advanced modes, you want to keep like pretty much everything, like stock everything. So just so you can have something to trade with, because he has some pretty weird requirements sometimes, like sulfur. I mean, not sulfur, gunpowder and stuff like that. Yeah, so we'll cook up some stone so we can open up some more crafting things. See, like now we can craft the grinder. Not the grinder, the stone cutter. And also buttons. With the stone, you can craft buttons. Not that we want a button right now, but for the door it could be. When we get a strong door, we can craft a button so that the mobs can't break it down. So now we have extra pickaxe, a couple of those, because we're going to start mining and then look for our iron. Like I said, for me, the game's over when you find iron, because you've pretty much, you know what I mean? Now you can start digging deeper and looking for the diamonds, and when you get good amount of iron, then you can find, you can get your armor, and you'll be a lot tougher to deal with the monsters. And yeah, so we'll dig down because it's night, so we won't have to deal with the monsters, at least not on the outside. If we find a cavern, we'll be in trouble. But like we're digging, so you want to control your dig. You don't want to just go crazy. You want to dig. I dig in a stairway fashion, so I'll speed this up here too. So we'll dig in a stairway fashion, so this way we can get up easily. Okay, and also that's the other thing. It takes torches. It takes a lot of torches to light up, because you don't want to dig a lot of space and leave it dark, because monsters can spawn in certain areas, when it's dark. So not so much in, let's say, 1x2 areas, but we got some copper. Well, that'll be good for aesthetics, I guess. Can make a copper door. Be stronger than the wood door. Okay, so we got a good amount of coal. We'll seal that up again, because again, I don't want monsters spawning. So we'll close up the areas to make them a tighter area, so it doesn't really let monsters spawn as easily. Remember, the ideal level for iron is 14. So that's where we would be heading, and we'll be looking for lots of iron there. And it's just a matter of having now sticks and picks and food to survive. And here's the iron. Great. So this basically means we, at least for our little example here, for our little guide, that we've won. We got the 3 iron. Like I said, we don't have any fortune right now, so we're not getting any extra. That would be in the future. With the 3 iron now, we can make the pickaxe. So with the pickaxe, we can look for diamonds. Now that's not an easy thing either. Just because you have 1 iron, your iron might break too. But the ideal thing would have at least, I would say the best thing would be to have at least 3 iron pickaxes to look for diamonds. Then once you get your 3 diamonds, then you can make your diamond pickaxe. You can start making obsidian, you know, with you can make your water bucket, and then you can start making obsidian, pouring water over lava and forming obsidian. Then you break it with your diamond pickaxe, because you need diamond to break obsidian. So yeah, the iron will break the diamond, and that's sweet. So we're cooking up the iron right now to make the ingots. The raw iron, and this I will use only 1 coal. I mean, like, you know, who cares? Oh, I can throw the copper in there too, though. So yeah, we'll do that to preserve the coal. And there it is. We got our huge advancement, and now we'll make our iron pickaxe, which is like, at least for me, that's the game winner. Like I said, we're in our own world here. We created the world from scratch, and I was looking for, you know, one of the toughest starting biomes. So now we got some torches, a few more torches, and we'll need some sticks for the handle of the pickaxe. And voila, we got it. Great, and an advancement, isn't it? Iron pick. Isn't it iron pick? Yeah. So cool. This is like game-winning territory right here now. That's like fantastic. So with this, we could actually go back down to 14 and get the and search for more iron. You know, because once we get full iron armor, and I wouldn't look for diamonds just yet, because it could be risky. You know, as far as ruining the pickaxe before you find the diamonds, because I have an episode of that too, like how many pickaxes it takes to find diamonds, I think it was. I don't remember if I mentioned that. So anyway, yeah, so we'll close this up and we'll put a door here. Well, first we'll put the bed in, but I want to get more room. I don't just put it in front of the stairs. It's kind of weird. A little headroom. What's weird is when you spawn in, like sometimes if it puts you in a funny area, like it doesn't spawn you right, you know, like necessarily next to it. It could spawn you on the other side of the bed, and then it'll like place you somewhere else, you know, like maybe on the stairs or outside even, and you don't want to spawn outside at night. Okay, so great. See, now the restore point is here in the bed. So now if we were to die in the future, we would spawn inside here. Like I said, you want to have room around the bed. I'm just gonna leave it like that for now, but if it should decide to spawn you on in this case, the left side of the bed, you know, looking at it from our perspective here, it could actually like move you over to the stairs, or even possibly outside or on top, and that would suck, because then it might put you next to a creeper and then you're dead. So Okay, so we got our copper here cooked up. Oh, another tip now, also based on other videos I made, when you pull stuff out of the oven, you get a little bit of XP. And see, right there, I just got a bunch of XP there. And that's good if you have mending on your items, like when you get into enchanting and you have items, make sure you put the item that has mending in your hand. So when you pull the item out of the oven, the XP will heal the item or your armor. Of course, I would probably use it on the armor first because that's like the most important thing when you get diamond armor or even iron armor if you don't find diamonds. So quickly, you know, so it'll heal your armor if you don't. But if you have your weapon, I'm pretty sure it goes to your. I'm not sure what the order is, like if it distributes. That's a good question, actually. I should look that up. Like, what is the order of healing for if you have mending, a pickaxe, and also mending on your armor? Which does it heal first? You know, your armor, your pickaxe are evenly distributed. That's actually an interesting thing to find out. I'll have to find that out. If you know, leave it in the comments below. Maybe I'll put it in the comments below and I'll look it up later. It's an interesting question. Okay, so, well, at least for me, that's about it. We've successfully survived a couple of nights actually now, and and we found armor, iron. So we're on our way. From here on, I would continue to mine. Sorry, and get the upgrades for the sword and the axe, and of course chestplate and leggings. That'd be the most important part for the iron, and then mostly pickaxes because the objective would be diamonds, and then it's like you win the game, you know, when you have your diamond armor. So yeah, great. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment if you want more of these or specific situations. I'll see what I can do. Live free, question everything, God bless, and as always, have fun. Cheers.
Muchas gracias, afición. Este para vosotros. ¡Sí!